Hey guys, what's up? Meows Monkey. I'm back for here for another YouTube video, and since it's October, I just want to do like a little series. I'll be reacting to scary videos, whether it be from Blue Spooky to Mr. Nightmare, I don't know, maybe to other stuff. So make sure to check out the original video down below for Blue Spooky's video, and to his channel. He has really good stories. I recommend you check him out before you watch this video. So yeah, this is gonna be about 4 true scary clown stories, and I freaking hate clowns. Clowns have been popping up recently because of the It movie, yeah, I hate clowns. Let's get on to watching this. I have my popcorn, have my drink right there. So yeah, let's get on to watching this.
I've never had any experiences that really freaked me out, except this one.
Oh.
I was around 11 years old, and was with my sister and her friends. We're all girls. They were all around 16 years old, and were taking me trick-or-treating. We were going door to door to get candy, and playing with silly string. I kept getting this weird feeling, I was looking behind me constantly, and I had no idea why. Around 9:30 p.m., I turned around quickly, and there was this guy dressed up as a clown about 2 yards behind us. I wasn't really scared about this, because I like clowns, and since this was the first time I saw him, I figured he was just trick-or-treating. But he followed us for another hour, never getting candy, and waiting for us at each house we stopped at. At this point, I was stressing, and told my sister about the clown. She decided that we try to go a completely different route, and see if he still followed us. So we all crossed the street, and sure enough, he did.
Boy, what do you think is gonna happen if you guys go a different route, especially with less people? What do you think is going to happen? A, he's gonna follow you. B, he's gonna follow you. C, he's gonna follow you. Or D, he's gonna follow you. Obviously D, so
My sister absolutely hates clowns.
I do too.
Was freaked out, so she called our dad to come pick us up. We continued walking for around 30 minutes until our dad called us, saying when he was parked. We all started walking fast towards the direction of my dad's car, but that's when the clown ran in front of us and tried to corner us. I think he knew that we were trying to leave. My sister and her friends were freaking out, and me, being a naive and outspoken kid, yelled at the clown to leave us alone. I remember that he tilted his head to the side when I said that, kind of like a confused dog. I grabbed my sister's silly string and told the clown that if he didn't leave us alone, I'd ruin his outfit with the silly string. Again, I was a naive kid.
My God. You idiot. Even if you are young, you should know not to do that.
I actually thought he would be scared of the silly string.
Boy!
The clown didn't back off, so I stringed him all over his masking costume. While I did this, my sister called our dad again, telling him to hurry to where we were. The clown struggled to get the string off his mask so he could see, but we were already running. My dad came around the corner and we all rushed inside the car. The clown caught up with us and tried to open the car door, but it was locked. As my dad hit the gas, the clown slammed his hands onto the back window. I remember watching him out the back window, trying to chase the car but failing. I never figured out what was up with that clown, but there were other reports of a clown with the same description chasing kids in the area.
Oh,
Before
Jesus
anything,
Christ.
a little backstory. I was 10 at the time and was visiting my hometown, Ecuador, for the summer. At the time, I knew just about everyone in my small little town, and so did my parents, which is why they let me go on my own that day. Anyway, here's my encounter. Back when I was 10 years old, my family decided to take a visit to my hometown of Ecuador. We went for the summer and planned out just about our whole stay. One day, my mom and dad were getting ready to go to a wedding, and I was in the house with them.
A wedding?
My big sister went over to a friend's house, and my other relatives had already left for the wedding. I was supposed to stay home, alone, for the duration. but I saw that it was a beautiful day out and decided to ask my mom and dad to go to a park that was no more than 2 blocks away. They were reluctant at first, stating that there would be nobody to take care of me, but I argued that it was a beautiful day out and there was no way that the park would be empty. They kept getting dressed as I kept on arguing until they finally gave in.
Wow.
They said that I could go to the park as long as I was back before dark. I agreed and ran outside.
Alright. Thing you gotta know, he's 10 years old. What do you think is gonna happen? He's 10. He's 10 years old. What do you think is gonna happen? You're already screwing up, but oh my god.
I had to head for the park.
If they're going to a wedding, that kid should go to that wedding to support their friends or whatever.
It took me no more than 10 minutes to get there, and I was ready to make new friends and play around. But oddly enough, there was nobody else in the park. It looked abandoned, which was weird, seeing how this was one of the 2 parks in the whole city. It should have been packed, but I paid no mind to it. I believe I ran over to a swing set, or slide. It was 12 years ago and I can't really remember. And I just
So you're 22 now.
played around. As I played, I suddenly heard a voice from the distance. A clown was on the other side of the gate, and motioning for me to get closer. Behind him was a white van, which I had noticed before, but just thought it was a delivery truck of sorts. I slowly started walking towards the clown and stopped a good distance away from him.
Oh no.
He asked me in Spanish.
Hey kid, do you like clowns?
I nodded no to him, and he gave me that clown frown and then said,
Well then let me see if I can change that.
Boy.
He opened up his car, and by looking inside, I saw there was only 2 boxes, though I wasn't sure what they were filled with, and that was it. No seats, no posters, just those 2 boxes, and then complete emptiness.
Wow.
Being a child, I still paid no mind to it, and watched as he pulled out a deflated balloon. He wrapped his lips around the end and blew till the balloon was fully inflated. He tied the end and started to form the balloon into a balloon animal of a dog. He showed it to me, and I smiled. He then mentioned me to come closer, to which I complied, and he handed the balloon to me, saying,
Do you like?
I nodded yes this time and gave him a little smile. He then grinned in the creepiest way possible. The grin was so creepy that even as a kid I knew to back away a bit.
Was it the same grain of Pennywise or what? It's on Nostalgia Critic's review of the new It movie and the old one. Pretty good review. You need to watch that as well. I'm just one putting that out. Was it the same smile as it was with Pennywise? I just want to know. It's good to watch it.
The clown then said that if I wanted to see the rest of his tricks, I would have to get into the truck.
Oh no! All my mood changed in just like 7 seconds, just so quickly.
I told him that the exit was on the other side of the park, and I wouldn't be able to climb the small gate. He then said a few words that haunt me to this day.
Get a little closer and I'll carry you over. Then we can have loads of fun in my truck. Come on, kid.
While saying this, he still had that creepy grin plastered across his face. I merely backed away and told him, "No, it's okay, sir." His grin turned into anger, as though he was annoyed at this.
Oh, but
He placed his hands on his hips and said to me,
Aw, but we were going to have so much fun.
right when he said that, I heard a voice on the other side of the park yelling, Son, I'm here to pick you up." I turned and saw a man that I recognized as a local neighbor. He wasn't my real father, obviously, but the little me knew to run over to him. I said nothing to
Thank
the
you.
clown. I just ran to the man and gave him a hug. The man waved at the clown and said, "Thanks for keeping my kid entertained."
Oh my god. Even if I was a neighbor, I would trust him more. I wouldn't know what to do. Even if that was my neighbor, I don't know crap about my neighbors. I'd still go over to him, but I would just tell him about the situation. Just ask him to call my dad or something like that. I don't know.
To which the clown just replied,
No problem.
As we turned around, I was able to hear this man murmur, "Sick fuck." I looked at him and asked, "Sir, what exactly is going on?" He just gave a sigh and explained everything. As it turns out, that was no real clown. He was a man that had been kidnapping kids all across Ecuador. He would lure kids in with the clown costume and take them away to God knows what place. The people of my town had a feeling he was coming to our town, which is why the whole park was deserted. He said that he was walking by when he noticed that I was talking to the clown and ran over to basically save me. As he told me this, he also dialed for the police to report the incident. When we had finally arrived at my house, this man said, "Be careful who you talk to, son. Not everyone is who they seem." I gave him one final hug and gave him a thanks for saving me from that sick fuck. He gave me a rub on the head and said, "It's okay, my boy."
Did he actually say those words or what? I just want to know. I would just like to hear him say it, like hear him say it in his voice.
Now hurry on, I have my own things to worry about. I nodded and ran into the house. Nobody was there, and by the time they had returned, I had decided not to tell anyone since I knew they'd just flip the fuck out. It took me a while to forget about the whole incident, especially with those words that kept reminding me of him. But I soon forgot, till I came across the page in memories of that clown that flooded my head. I'm not quite sure what happened to the sicko, but hopefully, he's now behind bars.
I'm a little nervous about the next picture.
So last night I had a very scary thing happen, and I'm not 100% sure what it was, but it reminded my friend and I of a clown, so that's what I'll call it. Maybe some background would be good. Last night was New Year's Eve. I'm 22 and I had two other friends over. A girl we'll call L, who is 20, and a guy who we'll call K.
I'm having
He's
goosebumps right
19.
now.
I also have a 6-month-old baby girl who was asleep in the bedroom.
This
I live in a one-bedroom apartment in a bad part of town. There are many drug users and dealers around here, along with people who have rape and assault charges. It's not a safe place at night if you're a woman. My husband...
Is it Las Vegas? Alright. I'm betting it's either Las Vegas or Chicago. It's one of those. I'm gonna guess Las Vegas. So, yeah.
was at work and Kay was asleep. Elle and I are both short females, and we had stayed up smoking and listening to scary stories on YouTube. The drapes were open on one of the two living room windows, so that we could watch the moon and stars while talking. Yes, we were both smoking weed, but we both heard the same things at the same time, so we know it wasn't in our minds. The apartment is a second-floor apartment, and the stairs come up past the living room, as the door is on the far side of the living room and the window is across the room. This means you can hear anyone that is outside if you are sitting on the couch, as well as hear anyone on the stairs. Now to the story. So as I said, we were relaxing and smoking, just having a good time.
That's creepy.
All of a sudden, we heard a very loud, creaky metal sound. The only thing we could think of was one of those old-fashioned metal tricycles that were big in the 60s and 70s. This was confirmed to us when we heard two loud horn honks. Not like a car honk, more like those old horns you would put on your bike, and you would squeeze the bulb on one end to make the sound come out of a funnel-like thing on the other end.
That's fun.
Needless to say, she and I were both instantly freaked out.
I would be too.
Since my apartment is set in a little pocket that most people ignore, because there are single-bedroom apartments that are filled with only stoners. So to hear this outside, we were both really scared. The creaking sound got closer, and we realized we had never locked the door. Then I realized that you could clearly see only the two of us girls on the couch, since Kay had passed out from smoking. Elle whispered that the door was unlocked, as I was getting up to fix that very issue. I stepped over Kay quietly, as she and I are both freaking out but not trying to wake him or the baby up. Our bottom lock doesn't work due to it being broke, so only the top lock works. I tried quietly to lock it, but as I touched the cold metal, we heard something take about 3 or 4 steps quickly and quietly up the stairs, as if whoever was coming up was trying to stay really quiet. My eye went wide, and I clicked the lock into place, which made a very loud noise in the quiet. Instantly, the sound on the steps stopped, and she and I looked at each other, panicked. I crept back over to her on the couch, trying not to have a panic attack. As soon as I reached the couch, Ellen whispered something to me. I don't remember what, because the moment after she spoke, we heard that metal creaking sound of the wheels turning, leaving from the front of my place. Then the 2 honks happened again, and once more a tiny bit away from the apartment. She and I rushed up to go to the window that is about 2 feet away, looking out to the dark to see what was going on. We saw nothing, but you can't see much from the windows due to how the building sticks out on the right, and on the left there's an overhang from the roof that blocks more. So we can really only see the parking lot. I muttered, "Fucking clowns honking there." I was cut off by the honking again, as it was suddenly louder, as if it was coming back. We closed the drapes fast and hid on the couch. Neither of us were willing to go out and see if it was still there.
Call
We
the
don't know
cops.
for sure what it was. I don't care if it was
Please
a
call the
ghost, a
cops.
demon, a clown, or anything even normal.
Please call the cops.
That was very scary, and we both felt in danger from this person or creature or whatever this thing was. For as long as I live, if I ever hear that creepy metal sound, it'll be too soon.
I'm nervous about this last one.
I've posted this story once before, in a lot less detail on a different thread, but never here. This is 100% true. It happened back in the late 1980s when I was home one summer on break from college.
Oh my god.
About 2 years prior, my dad had purchased an old house with the intention of eventually tearing it down to build a new home.
Thing is, this isn't full
The
screen
house
as
was
well.
built in 1916, and like most homes built in that area, it had a really unconventional floor plan. There was a central living room and kitchen just like a normal home, but the 3 bedrooms were more akin to separate apartments. Each had its own separate outside entrance, a private bathroom, and a door that led to the common area living room and kitchen. Perhaps the place was originally intended to be a boarding house or something. I don't really know. The other thing that was a little creepy about the house was that it was all wood. The ceilings, walls, and floors were all brown, and nothing was ever painted or plastered. My dad was a pretty cool guy. While he was waiting for permits and financing, he let 3 of my friends live there for free in exchange for watching the place. They had a lot of parties, but my dad didn't care as long as none of the neighbors complained. I went to a few parties there myself when I was lucky enough to be home from college. Eventually, 2 of my friends moved out, leaving my one buddy there to watch the mostly empty house on his own. He wasn't the type of person to be afraid of living alone in a half-empty house, so he was fine with the situation. I'm at home one afternoon when the phone rings. It's my buddy, and he sounds terrified. He tells me to call the police and meet him out in front of the driveway of the house, but under no conditions to go in. I ask him why, and he tells me there's a crazy clown in the house. Apparently he was sick with the flu in bed for the previous 2 days. When he finally felt well enough to go into the kitchen to get something to eat, he runs face to face with a crazy woman dressed in a clown suit and makeup who starts screaming at him. It was then that he ran out of the house and called me in a panic from a nearby gas station. I call the police and then drive over to the house, which was about 2 miles away. I found my buddy on the sidewalk out front, and he's really shaken up. I ask him to describe what he saw, and he just keeps saying there's a crazy clown woman in the house. I ask for more specific details.
Oh my god.
And he describes her as dressed in a white clown suit with red makeup smeared all over her face. He's still a little sick, so he looks really bad, and honestly, he's freaking me out as well. There was no way in hell that I was going to go into that house to investigate his story. After what seemed like an eternity, a cop shows up. My buddy tells him the exact same story. The cop then goes into the house while we wait outside.
Oh my
About
god.
5 minutes later, he emerges escorting a crazy clown woman who looks exactly as my friend described her. She has wild, unkempt brown hair and is wearing this weird baggy one piece. What was really disturbing though was her face. She had a tube of lipstick which she crudely spread all over her cheeks in a failed attempt to make them look rosy. Although we were both freaked out, the cop thought it was hilarious. The clown woman claimed it was her house and then accused us of being on drugs and trespassing on her property. When the cop told her to get in the back of his squad car, she warned him that she had powerful friends in Tinseltown who would have him fired. When he comes back to talk to us, he tells us he can't arrest her for breaking and entering because the house is half abandoned. He said the best he could do was drive her a few blocks away and hope she didn't wander back. This, of course, freaks us out even more. Fortunately, though, when they run a background check on her, turns out she has an outstanding warrant and would be going to jail instead.
Oh, God.
And that's the last time we saw her. When we go back into the house, we find all kinds of crazy stuff written on the kitchen cabinets, and the same red lipstick she rubbed all over her face. There was also some 10-day-old fish in the fridge that my friend never got around to eating, that she cooked on the stove and ate. The really scary thing, though, was this crazy woman probably was in the same house with my friend for at least a day, while he was sick and semi-delirious in bed with a fever. She was probably harmless, but who knows what she would have done if she stumbled onto him while he was sleeping. His door was unlocked the entire time. Fortunately, she never did, as far as we know. One of the things she wrote down on the cabinets and lipstick was her name. While I'm not allowed to disclose it here, I googled it and found a mugshot that was taken of her some years later. Hey guys, it's Blue Spooky, as always. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it to the end here. As always, if you guys have any constructive criticism, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. And if you have any stories that you'd like me to read or that you'd like to send in, please send them to any of the social media accounts that I'll have in the description below. I'll have my Twitter, my Facebook, and my Gmail in there. I also want to thank you guys so much for the support you've been giving. I mean, I just had a video reach, it's about to reach 2,000 views now. And honestly, that's pretty crazy to me, because when I first started this, I never even thought I'd get past like 100 subscribers. So, thank you guys so much for everything you've done in supporting the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Blue Spigot has really good videos. That second video was probably the scare. Well, I think the second and fourth story was probably the scariest. Third one was a little confusing. The first one was just stupid. I say stupid, like what the people were doing was kind of stupid. So, yeah, that's a pretty scary video. Those clowns. I experienced a crazy clown story once. It's kind of scary. I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to y'all if this video hits, let's do 10 likes. If this video hits 10 likes, I will explain that story to y'all about my scary experience with a clown. So, yeah. And that was a good story. Make sure to check out the original video down below. Make sure to subscribe to support him. He says he's really happy for getting 2,000 views. I'd be happy. I'd be jumping for freaking joy if I got 2,000 views on one video. Cause Blue Spooky is really good videos. I don't know why I'm not subscribed to him. I don't know why I'm not. So yeah, this is one of his most popular videos. Tomorrow actually is Friday the 13th. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. So yeah, I'm gonna come out with I'm gonna do another reaction to try and look for like a super scary story for y'all. So yeah, that's basically it. I'll make sure to check out his original video down below, his channel in the description. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoy. If you want more content from me like this, or recommend subscribe, turn on bell notifications, leave a like on it. Until then, I'll see you all later. And take care, everyone. Bye.